cover that up so I can see these comments. Baby, you gonna girl? Hey, there she go. How you doing?
Hi. How are you all doing?
Hey, thank you for stopping by Couples Couch Q&A. We appreciate you.
Thank you
So
for coming on. I just happened to go on Instagram and I follow EJ Speaks. And
yeah,
so and it was just I was like, oh, and you all started talking and I was talking about counseling and I was like, oh yes. I mean, as a community, we tend to shy away from it. And our anniversary, our 25th anniversary is November 11th.
that's so cool.
Yes, yes. And so we went to counseling for the first time earlier this year. And we
For the first time?
yes.
Oh
Wow.
wow, okay.
For the first time this year, earlier this year, before the pandemic, we had a few sessions. And the reason why we went was because and I sent this to my husband. I don't know if he can get on too, if that means people can get on. But you know, we never were able to just actually sit down and set goals, which is so important. If you don't have something that you're working towards, what's the point? And so I was like, we kept talking. We need to sit down and set. And so counseling helped us. We were actually able to sit down and set short-term and long-term goals. And so we have been successful. One of them was about improving our credit. We've done that. About buying a home after all of this time.
Wait, y'all haven't had a house in all that time?
No,
25
we
years?
have not. In all this time, we haven't. We have one daughter who'll be 23 tomorrow. And and we're actually in the process of buying a home now. We've actually and we're going to actually get the house built. We're going to do investment properties as well.
During
So,
the quarantine. That's so awesome.
and so, counseling it's on point. So we as a people, we have to get out of these shackles that bind us, from succeeding. We really have to do that because I mean, it makes a difference. And my husband is wonderful. Oh my God, I think I have the best husband in the world. He's the most humble man. I don't put up with me, but he does.
Mhm.
He does.
Hey, so question, what would you tell somebody now who's like in the process of getting married or they like somebody and they're considering getting together? What would you tell them about therapy or counseling?
I would say that you should do it. You should get some counseling because there's some things, as your beautiful wife said before, that you don't think about. When you were we've been married nearly 25 years, and so especially younger, of course you don't think about, and you think everything is just so wonderful, perfect, and nothing is ever going to go wrong. You think about questions like, when my parents get older, they live with us. What are we going to do with our parents? They can't take care of themselves. Just something as simple as that.
Mm.
Because our mother-in-law has been with us for a year, but I had the mindset that my mindset is that they're not going into they're gonna all of my people are gonna come stay with us if they have. But that's something you have to discuss up front.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you going to raise your children? How are you going to discipline your children? You need to have a plan. Make sure you're compatible spiritually. Make sure you're compatible financially, emotionally. And it's so much bad that we come into relationships with that we don't really understand or know until we're with that person. And we have to understand that when you marry someone, you're going to grow at different times. You're not going to always grow at the same time. Some
Mm-hmm.
that person may seem stagnant while you're growing and vice versa. And so you have to with the whole being. And we have to be patient with one another and through those processes.
Yeah.
Dismiss that person because they're not where we want them to be right now. Because there's going to be a time when that's going to switch.
Yeah.
To be patient with one another. And you have to understand that we're talking about the rest of your life. So
Yeah.
is not something that you take lightly. The person that you see now, they're going to look different 20 years from now, a little bit. And their mindset is, they're thinking it's going to change. Life experiences are going to happen that are going to make both people in relationship change in some type of way. Well, you always have to make sure that the two of you are the number one person in each other's lives. You don't come second to anybody else. So that's very important. And that's how it is with my husband. I can tell you all a story that happened when my daughter was little. I went to get a massage. And so This was so funny. My daughter may have been about 9 or 10 or something like that. I went to get a massage. And so my daughter was with me. It was a little hair massage. I didn't go to get it. I just went to this store and they had something. I was like, oh, I need a massage. And so the whole time I was there, she didn't do anything. And so when we got home, she went in, oh, Daddy, Mama got a massage, and the man was rubbing her shoulders, and her shirt came up, and you could see part of her back. She didn't say anything to me. She was being mad. And I said, oh, sweetie. I said, let me tell you something. This is my husband. I love you, and you're my daughter, but you cannot come between me and my husband. Because she was being now, of course, he didn't do anything to her that's inappropriate, and I wouldn't tolerate that, of course. But you know, it's just we have to have that mindset that, you know, no matter what comes at us, we have to have each other's back.
Yeah.
You know, we have to have each other's back. So, if we're gonna squabble, we're gonna be going back to back, we're gonna go. You know, so we have to have the mindset that we love each other, we're gonna help each other, we're gonna grow together. Encourage one another without belittling the other person.
Yeah. So I have a question real quick. What was your aha moment during therapy? You did all this life with somebody, and then therapy for me is like them confirming stuff that I already know. Like, I didn't realize I grew up in a lot of dysfunction. Like, I didn't even know it because when you grow up in a household, you think that's normal. And then when you get out of that situation or you meet with somebody who's like, or you date somebody who's actually healthy, you're like, oh, that was dysfunctional how I was raised. Like, did you have any ahas or takeaways from your counseling session?
You know what? I think I had a few. Because part of me felt like because we weren't doing the things that I thought we should have been doing, I felt like, oh, maybe he doesn't love me the way I think he does. And the counselor helped me to see that he loved me. He was just dealing with inside of himself.
He was what?
Dealing with some things inside of himself that he was dealing with. And so that's a problem that I know that I suffer from. I take things that he may do or not do as something, I make it personal. I make it about me when it's really something about me, if that makes sense. And in couples, we tend to do that. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's something wrong with me. No, he's a person dealing with something, and it has nothing to do with his love for me. So that was a big aha moment for me because because as we tend to be self-centered and we make everything about us, and so I learned that okay, it wasn't about. It's just that he was seeing, and he expressed this that he was seeing, trying to live day to day, so he couldn't see the big picture because all he could see was right in front of him. He's like, I'm trying to pay bills.
Yeah, right.
He's like, I'm just trying to pay bills. You need to think about what we're gonna do 5 years from now. Yeah, but they were able to help him to see my point of view and vice versa. So that's what coupling counseling, I think, does. It helps you to be able to hear the other person because we really can't, so
I have a follow-up question to that question. Now, how did you, once you realized that was a thing, and it's always like you said all the time, you're like, it's her truth, his truth, and then the truth. And it's also your truth and the truth. How did you unpack the resentment that you've been holding on to, assuming that he doesn't love you, even though, like I know deep down, he loves you in general, but that specifically making it about you energy. How did you like unpack that after therapy? Because I know sometimes you can become resentful. Like her and I have had disagreements and I would take it as, oh, you don't love me, or you're leaving the argument because you don't love me. And she'd be like, no, I'm doing this so I won't say nothing I don't want to say. You know what I'm saying? But I would take it as, oh, you're leaving because you don't care. I'm trying to fight for us and tell you how I feel, and you're walking away. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I became resentful. Like, how do you unpack 25 years of thinking he doesn't love you, even though the truth is he loves you? He just didn't speak the same language all the time, love language all the time.
I didn't feel that way the entire time, but it was pretty instant. It didn't take me a long time to understand. It was like, oh, I got it right away. And so instead of, I can say there was some resentment, but what we started to do, we just started to make moves. We just sat down and we just started to just make things happen. We sat down, we wrote everything out, and that's so important. We tend to overlook that. And we wrote everything out. that we wanted to do, and we put it in place. And so then we just started moving, and so it wasn't I wasn't resentful for that long. But you get to even when you start getting towards the milestones, these things start to like, okay, we getting on 25 years. So that's what's going on in my head. It's like, we can't do this another 25 years. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not going to do it another 25 years. We have to do something different. And so it was really interesting because our counsels were so wonderful. They're called the marriage doctors, and they're here in the Dallas area. And and they're a pastor and wife, and they're both pastors. And my husband and I are Muslim. And so they treated us as if we were the same, and and it's been a beautiful experience, and I'm glad that, and I'm glad that we went that route with the couple, because when we're sitting there with them, they feed off of each other, and they help us out to help us. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, we sat in counseling, and we laughed and we cried and we bawled, and one of the things that we talked about before was the way that you were raised, and our counselor called it domestication. And so the way that has a big impact on what we expect, a very big impact. And so we learned the difference, just the difference in what our expectations were, just based on how we were raised, and I was raised, or I was in a Christian household with people pretty much, well, my parents didn't stay married, but most of my uncles, they stayed married. They fought through, but I don't know what they dealt with, but they fought through, they pushed through, they married, they stayed married, and they were healthy, happy couples. And so, of course, um, and my parents stayed married, but I wanted to break cycles. We have to, in our generation, we have to break cycles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was important to me. I was like, I can't, after 25 years, I can't just, I can't throw in the towel after
Right.
25 years.
Right.
You know, it's my best friend. He is my best friend. So I really felt like we had to make strides, to accomplish goals for just not just for me, but for the both of us. Because that helped in our growth and development of all areas in our lives, and we can just manage to accomplish some goals and build a legacy for our offspring, that our children, our grandchildren, so that's important to me.
And you said he was Muslim too, right?
Yes, yes.
Was he one receptive to going to counseling? And how did you get him to go to Christian counselor? Like how did that happen? How was
Well,
that conversation?
I said I wanted to do it, and this is my husband. I said I wanted to do it, and he went and found the counselor.
Oh,
He,
he found. Jeez, that's dope.
and I said we need to do some counseling. I think we want to do it. So he went. He got busy, and he did. And
I like him already.
that's just how humble my husband is. He's because we've never even thought about it before. But as soon as I mentioned it, he was like, "Okay, let's do it."
Aw, that's sweet.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
You all should meet. I mean, he's wonderful. He's so wonderful.
Yeah, we'll actually circle back. We'll circle back.
Hmm.
Oh, is Uncle back? Is Uncle Bucks? Is that your guy?
That's my husband. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, either he trolling or he know you pretty well. So we are like, we are. He trolling? Hey,
I
Uncle
wasn't
Bucks.
open at first.
Yeah, man. But
I wasn't.
him taking the initiative, that tells you a lot. Sometimes, ladies, if you're watching this, man, if a guy who's trying, you gotta like give him enough grace and love to let him like figure this thing out. Sometimes we don't always get it. Like my wife was, has asked me to do stuff, and at first, like my pride and ego was in the way, and then later on, when I figured out what she meant, and she saw my heart, like she gave me room to like find myself in her love, and that's how you should be. And men, we should be the same way. Your love, your heart should be big enough to where a person can see themselves, they can see you together, and then also give you room to grow. Because the same grace that you want somebody to give, you should give that to your person to extend it. Because again, we all trying to figure this thing out. This love, life, and relationships. Like you don't know. You don't know if you got the right person, and you get the right person. You just hoping that you two flawed people trying to figure this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
you got to give the person grace, man.
He said no, he wasn't. But if he wasn't open, he didn't show me that he wasn't open. So
Nah, but the fact he went and found it after you said it, like that shows you a heart of a man. When a woman makes a request, that's why I was telling women, like, especially like young women, if you meet a guy and you tell him what you expect, if it moves his heart, then you got you a good man. But if he gets mad and be like, I ain't doing all that, that already tells you what kind of guy he is. Like, a man that loves you don't want to share you with the world. A man that loves you, he can't see you being with somebody else, and he'll move mountains to make sure you have what you need, even if he don't have it. If he ain't got no money, he the brokest dude ever, but he love you, he will find money for a ring. If he love you and he ain't got no money, he will figure out a way to pay for that wedding. I'm telling you, that's how men do. Like, when I bought her ring, I'm a comedian, and I have good years and I have bad years, and I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I got her a ring where I'm like, yo, when she put this thing on, I need people to know that this is my girl. And I don't want her coworkers to clown her. I don't want her friends to clown her. I want her to know, like, yo, she's taken care of when they see this ring. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even have money like that, but I feel like God provided and gave me what I needed to make sure, one, I was comfortable with what I was doing, because I didn't do anything out of lack or a place I didn't have. And then also, I wanted her to be pleased with my love offering with the ring, and like get her a ring that she would be happy with.
And you know, by looking at the way she looks at you, brother, if you would have just got her a band, she would have been all right. The way she looks at you is.
Oh, I'm not worried about her. I'm talking about the committee. I'm talking about the committee. She's not the problem. The committee is the problem. You got to make sure the committee's. Huh? Listen, we go to the store, and it could be like an outlet store. And I'd be like, babe, find something in the store, whatever you want. It'd be the most expensive thing in the store. And it could be a clearance outlet, discount, 90% off store. It'd be the one thing in the store that's $2,000. Like, that's just her. You know what I'm saying?
Because she got taste.
That's just how it is. And I knew what I was signing up for. When I saw that, and I saw we used to go hang out and shop and like get stuff, and I was like, oh, she got expensive taste. And it wasn't even bad. She just got a good eye for stuff. She knew quality, and that's just how she is. So I'm like, okay. That's why I was like, when dudes be like, I'm gonna steal your girl, like, you can't steal my girl. She's too expensive.
Oh, that's right.
Emotionally and financially. You can't steal my girl, because she has made me the best version of myself. Like, the words I have to use and the conversation I have to have, I've never had in my entire life. The things I've had to do and experience, and she's even increased my palate. My palate has gotten better since I've been with her, because I'm a country boy. I like fried food, and now I'm eating Chilean sea bass and couscous.
Yeah.
Stuff country boy I ain't never had before, but because she has upgraded my palate, and like, but it stretches your faith too, because again, it's one thing to have faith and you don't really, like, you trust God, but you haven't seen it for yourself. But then you put somebody else in your space, and they have big dreams, and they pushing you further than what you can even imagine. Yeah. Like, the way, like, if we talk about houses, and I'm like, oh, babe, I love this house, because my thing is I want it to be cozy. And she was like, I want it to be cozy and contemporary. I'm like, contemporary in LA? To get modern, contemporary, and cozy in LA, you're gonna spend a couple million. But I believe, because it has upgraded my faith, like, yo, God is gonna give me the opportunity I need to get her the house that we both want. Where I want, when people come over our house, I want them to feel the love. I want my kids' friends to come over our house and be like, yo, y'all house feel good. Y'all house, I don't want to leave. Like, I you know what I'm saying? Like, I want people to come to my house and like not want to leave. They got to go, but I want them to not want to leave, because they feel the love and God's anointing on our love, on our relationship, and in the home that we provided. And I believe he'll provide all that. But because of her making me dream bigger, I'm like, yo, she pushed me on a level that I never, on my own, I don't think I've ever been pushed. And it's in a good way.
A woman can elevate your life. Yes, she can
upgrade you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Super dope. So listen, man, we would love to have you back, but we want to have you back with your guy too. I want to speak to.
Couples couch?
Yeah. Matter of fact, when y'all free, we want you and Uncle Bucks to do a couples couch.
Well, he's off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so I don't know how that,
Okay, but I feel like he's gonna get a Thursday off one day in his life, because I know y'all about to the house.
Yes.
I'm about to get this house. One day y'all free, man. We would love to have y'all on the show.
He may be willing to go on live.
Okay.
And thank you for coming on and giving us all this knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah, we appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you so much
for inviting me.
Cool. And it's so funny, because I actually feel like this is a very divine moment. Like, a lot of people did stay on and logged off, but a lot of people did log on. And I believe this particular conversation is a very divine moment where you're a fan of EJ, you saw the show, and then you saw us and was like, let me chime in. And I believe that the people that's watching right now are supposed to experience this moment, to see a couple who's newly married and also a couple who's been 25 years in the game, and to go to therapy after 25 years. That speaks volume to like what I believe is happening in the spirit realm. I feel like everything we've done as a people has got us to this place, but what we've done won't take us to where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like even the things that I did to get to her doesn't work in my marriage, because God was like, yeah, that's cool to where this point, but now
Mm-hmm.
you got to pay this toll. And this toll is you give me your entire heart. I'm going to give you this woman to take you where you need to go. I'm going to take your career off, but I need you to have this woman attached to you. I can't have you successful and single because you're going to make me look bad, because you don't know how to govern your own life. But if you put this woman in your life who I know is going to be on you and remind you, like, look, you have to be accountable to yourself and to your family. Like, he gives me this platform, but he gave me her. He was like, this is what you need. This is your boarding pass to the next level. Because I could have easily blew up years back, but I feel like specifically now who I am, being clear about who I am, be clear about, you know, my purpose on this planet, me doing stuff like this, like doing dating couple stuff, like that's my lane. And me having her with me, I couldn't have done it no other way. So I'm grateful to have you.
Yes.
And I knew that you are a part of my dream and me changing this world.
Thanks, babe.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I had to say something. And you know, when you said, come on, I was like, oh, I don't know. But, you know, that voice, somebody may say something that somebody needs to hear.
Yeah.
So, you know, help with that. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Blessed to you. If you mind, check back in with us too, and so we can have you and your guy on as well. Okay?
Thank
All
you.
right?
Thank
Later,
you.
Uncle Bucks. Hey, so listen, man. We're gonna if y'all have any more questions, feel free to ask. If not, we're gonna wrap it up soon. But I just want to say this too, man. I know T Rich, you comment and you said marriage seems dope. I'm gonna tell you, man, I wouldn't trade my life for nothing. I genuinely love my wife. I love her and I like her too. Like, she's my buddy, and I've never had somebody where I could be lover, buddy, reckless.
Reckless.
Yeah, I can be reckless and be a friend. I never had all that in one package, man. So, to be able to have that as a man, I didn't have an OG tell me that marriage is dope. Like, I had to figure it out for myself. So that's why I believe that
What did the OG tell you?
man, OGs tell you don't get married. You know what I'm saying? If you need to be a baby daddy just to have, you know, pass on your legacy, do that. But it's something about doing it the way God's way, like, that would change everything, man. And I can't even put it into words, but I'm telling dudes, like, if there's any dudes on here and you single and you know you feel that thing, because the world gonna tell you, you know, you conquer as many women as possible. But at the end, it's not sustainable. And it's all cool until you get sick, or it's all cool until you collect all these toys and you ain't got nobody to give your toys to because you did it all by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So finding somebody dope you can grow with, that you can do life with, to help you make decisions with, yo, it's a dope feeling, man. And I genuinely love my life. That's why people like, oh, ain't nobody that happy. Like, yo, I'm happy because her and I, we did the work.
We still doing the work.
We do the work every day.
It's work.
But nobody tell you about this side. Like, church tell you, you know, hey, you need to get married. Get married. You need, but they don't tell you how to sustain that thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you see my videos that I post, I tell people about the side of marriage that nobody tell you. Like, I want to tell people, like, yo, it's gonna be some ugly times, but you gotta learn how to stay, and learn how to stay when it don't feel good. And you gotta learn how to grow when somebody in your face and God be dealing with you and showing you you're ugly about yourself, and then somebody watching you grow while you trying to pay bills, while you trying to figure that life out, while you trying to figure them out. You know what I'm saying? While you trying to, you know, provide. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But without God, like, none of this stuff is possible. So I hate to sound super religious and super spiritual, but yo, marrying the right person is a wave.